In The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, as part of the main quest, you find Tingle in prison, where he belongs. But if you find it in yourself to free the man responsible for the worst part of the entire game, he tells you where to find the Picto Box, a camera that stores photos or pictographs. This box is your life now. We can return this to its rightful owner, a man named Lenzo on Windfall Island. He gives us his thanks and gives us the Picto Box, as well as shows us his collection of pictographs. We now have the ability to take our own black and white screenshots, which is needed for a handful of side quests. Lenzo then wants us to snoop around town getting shots of various things that we're not supposed to see. A man who sends love letters which are never returned. A man with a face made of stone actually getting startled. And a young couple exchanging glances on the street. In the HD version, they removed a fourth quest where he wants a forest firefly in order to complete the Picto Box, meaning that we can complete these photo-related quests much sooner. Plus, what the heck does that have to do with taking pictures? It's a needless extra step. As a reward for clearing all of these, we're given the ability to take full-color pictographs. Upon getting to Forest Haven, there's this tall, cylindrical island that you can't normally reach. So we go to Beetle's and purchase a Hyoi pair, allowing us to demonically possess a seagull and see what the heck is up there. Hitting a switch opens this place, the Nintendo Gallery. Right away, the gallery is full of references to Majora's Mask, so it's pretty cool in my book. Even referencing Tijo's drumfish. Its caretaker, Karlov, will ask us to take color pictographs of every character, enemy, and boss in the game. Anyone else think this guy looks a little like Bill Trinan? In the HD version, we're able to hold up to 12 pictographs at a time opposed to the original 4, thank God. After waiting a day or playing the Song of Passing twice, he'll chisel us a figurine of the subject in the photo. Just don't cut off the head or the feet, or the game might have trouble recognizing what you're taking a picture of. It's a 2003 game trying to understand art. Be easy on it. The seal in the corner tells you if it was a success. But wait! We don't have this thing from the beginning of the game, so how are we supposed to photograph everything? Thanks to them removing that Forest Firefly quest, we get a lot more freedom in collecting these. In the original, we would have to wait all the way until Ganon's Tower to collect Goma, whereas now we can just get it on the first visit to Dragon Roost Island. Funnily, Karlov says he only accepts color pictographs and those rematches themselves are in black and white, yet they still count. Now we move on to the minutia of how to actually complete the gallery. Several pictographs are missable or otherwise just have some kind of weirdness associated. If you've never played this game, there will be heavy spoilers ahead. Just warning you, since the chances of that are honestly pretty high. Seriously, Wind Waker's a great game and it was only ever released on 2 systems nobody bought. Going in chronological order, Kogoli is just an ordinary townsperson on Dragon Roost Island. Strangely, once you play the Earth God's lyric for Medley toward the end of the adventure, Kogoli disappears, never to be seen again. We're off to a flying start. You just know the others are gonna be horrible when we're starting on something like that. Prince Kamali's a weird one. If you don't get him at the start, you have to wait until after the Earth Temple to see him. Speaking of the Earth Temple, I forgot to ever take a picture of Medley. She's like the most memorable character, and I forgot her. Some easily missed ones are Obly and Willy, the brothers who run the flight minigame to the east of Dragon Roost. One of them is just Waluigi, let's be real. There's different people in the tavern on Windfall Island depending on if it's day or night. Make sure to get them all. When sailing around, there's several big octos throughout the Great Sea. Once slain, these are permanently defeated and will need to take down its likeness before they're all gone. In Old Hyrule, I'd make sure to take photos of the different varieties of dark nuts there. They're in plenty of other spots throughout the adventure, but it can be hard to remember which one you got if you don't just do it now and get them all. After the Tower of the Gods, we get the hero's bow and have the ability to fight back against Cyclos. Take a picture of him before he's defeated, and we get a 2-figurine set of Cyclos and Zephos. It was bugging me how to get a picture of Ariel, since she wouldn't appear back on Outset after being rescued. But it turns out she's included with Grandma. It really is 2 for the price of 1, Grandma! The dungeon bosses have limited chances, but you're, again, given a second chance in Ganon's Tower. I'd still grab Phantom Ganon ASAP as not to forget during the haste of the endgame. The worst dungeon boss is the Helmarok King. We only get 1 chance there at the end of the Forsaken Fortress. Godon might seem it's a 1-chance crony, but it retreats into the wall and stays there, still counting as a photo after its defeat. After Helmarok King, we can snap one of Tetra at long last. She looks so done with my ass. Tetra comes with a full set of pirates. They go nowhere without her, not even Toyland. Floor masters are kinda tricky. They have to be out of their hole and facing you to count. Here's how I set that up in the Earth Temple. It wasn't too easy. The Wind Temple has the red Wizrobe boss that's hard to come by. Really, just photograph every dungeon boss and mid-boss. It's easier that way. There was talk of a blue Wizrobe in some guides that I found, but I don't have a figurine of this, never found one, and still got 100%. I think it's one of those Mandela effect things, and some guide makers just assume that all red Zelda enemies must have blue counterparts. But no, it doesn't. Mulgara has a figurine, but its larvae do not. I tried, a lot. You can't get a photo of them, and they're part of the figurine of Mulgara anyway. The wandering merchants are tricky. You need to get the town flower from Windfall Island to begin the trading quest before they spawn on the Mother and Child Isles, Bomb Island, and Great Fish Isle. A photo of any one of these 3 counts as getting all of them. Next, we get onto the legendary pictographs, characters that only appear in cutscenes, or so the developers thought. More on that in a second. Starting in the Earth and Wind Temple arc, Lenzo begins selling us these for 150 rupees, different ones depending on what the current phase of the moon is. During the waxing crescent moon, he'll sell Fado. The first quarter moon gives Larudo. The waxing gibbous moon yields the king. Getting him will give us Zelda as an unspoken bonus. Ganondorf is for sale during the full moon, but you can always snap a picture of him during the final boss fight, save, quit, and go turn it in, but it's kind of a pain. Waning gibbous moon gives us the Great Fairy. Third quarter moon is Jaboon. And waning crescent moon rewards us the Queen of Fairies. As an almost insignificant detail, all of these legendary pictographs were retaken for the HD version. It's an example of how you can't just hit a convert to HD button on your computer and expect a game to run in widescreen. A lot of graphics have to be redone for it to work right, and a lot of the game requires reprogramming. The worst photo is this guy. No, the other one. No, the other one. No, the other one. Okay, fine, if anyone's the other one, it's David Jr., but I'm talking about Knuckle. Knuckle was not originally necessary to have the gallery count as complete because he required owning a Game Boy Advance and a GBA to GameCube link cable to see. If one were to collect every other figure, then Knuckle would be permanently unobtainable as the gallery was considered complete and Karlov would disappear. This was changed in the HD version where all you need to do is bomb to reveal the Tingle statues, and thus you can see Knuckle normally. These statues are all hidden within dungeons by bombing areas that were told to you by the Tingle Tuner in the original and Miiverse in the HD version. Thus, it takes a long time to backtrack to if you don't know how to get them, and if you're playing for the first time now, you probably don't know about them, what with Miiverse shutting down. It's worth it to get them all as you get 50 rupees per statue and then 500 for completing the set. At that point, the Triforce charts are a total non-issue. In the late game, in Old Hyrule, you'll find these special types of Dark Nuts that have capes on them. They are the third variety of Dark Nut now and count as separate figurines. Make sure to get them. In the end game, we need to take down Puppet Ganon. I struggled with getting back through the door from Puppet Ganon, eventually realizing that I needed to take the photo, save, and quit in the middle of the fight, and then I would respawn back out and turn the photo in. If you missed your chance for any of these permanently missable photographs, we got 2 answers. Number 1, Tingle bottles can contain photographs and may be saved and used for this quest. Should you want to try your luck in 2024 and beyond, I've linked a resource that gets the Wii U back online in the description. And number 2, play the second quest as the Nintendo Gallery carries over into New Game Plus. As for the non-missable characters, there's an awful lot of them, so I've linked to a full list of them in the description to check against your own list. So, what exactly is the point of all of this photo taking and figurine collecting? Nothing. It has no bearing on the rest of the game. You can get 20 hearts, all treasure, max upgrades, and double magic without ever touching this side mode once. But speaking as someone who's never tried this part of the game before, I found it surprisingly fun and got way more into it than I expected. Sort of like a precursor to the Hyrule Compendium and how addictive that was. So now, I'll show you what it took to get all of these figurines, because, it's a lot. In the meantime, how about we watch the Wind Waker commercial? I don't know why exactly, but it makes me cry every time I see it. Like, it's a beautiful work of art. It was actually this ad that got me to try the game and become a Zelda fan in the first place. It just looks so mystical from this.
In the land of Hyrule, there echoes a legend. A legend held dearly by the royal family that tells of a boy who became a man. He embarked on a great journey to the deepest, darkest corners of the earth, battling the forces of evil, testing the limits of his will, all to fulfill his destiny, which is, above all else, to save me. Product not yet rated.
Wasn't that amazing? I just love that commercial. Oh, it's still going. Say, did you know that if you slow down the choo-choo's voice, it's two Japanese men loudly arguing? Still going? Well, okay. I know I said I'd give you a compilation of all the heart pieces in this video too, but who cares? Tons of videos already exist on these topics, and you're gonna go to Zelda Dungeon anyway. Did I ever tell you that I'd never heard of the word selfie before Wind Waker HD was announced to have it as a feature, so I thought for years that Zelda invented the term selfie? Okay, we're all done. This whole process took me... Let me go look. 21 hours? For all of that, we get one last figurine. Link riding the King of Red Lions. Is it worth it? Nah. But that's what we do here. So, why didn't I cover this in my original Let's Play and wait so long to talk about it? Because I didn't know where in the game the Nintendo Gallery was, and I didn't feel like looking it up. I figured that was a problem for future me. Sorry, this predates me doing any form of research by about 3 Let's Plays. It was a very different time. I still hear those Hylian lines in Tim's voice. Feels like only yesterday.